I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's a filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch. All right, you guys. So we just did then, and now we're gonna do now. Are you throwing up a commercial?
Let's just do it.
Okay.
So we can get the
I agree. So coming up now is, let me get that timestamp.
32:55. Just do 33.
All right, so this is from the Extreme Underground again, as you know.
Is that Kel?
Is Kellandros.
Kellandros and his
Yep.
bitch.
And he says the second part of our Thrash, then and now poll, Prog Pro, paired up classic Thrash legends Coroner with Black Breath, a crossover death thrash band from Seattle. This song is from their third and possibly final. The band is on hold for now. Full-length album Slaves Beyond Death.
Slaves Beyond Death, dear listener.
So we are Black Breath is the name of the band. Wait a minute.
Is Black Breath a super band? Is it a super band, Cal?
Okay, so the album is Slaves Beyond Death. The name of the band is Black Breath, and the song is Pleasure, Pain, Disease. Yikes.
Okay, can you get me those lyrics?
Yep.
All right, Pleasure, Pain, Disease. It sounds like high school. Here we go.
Jesus.
That is. Tell ya.
Oh
Here we go. Shout out to the homie. I ain't gonna say your name, bro. You got it. Who is this? Chunk it! Woo-hoo! dear listener, that uplifting number was by the band
This is a band, Black Breath.
Black Breath, Pleasure, Pain, and whatever. All right, what do you got? What do you got?
Well, I guess. Well, they're talking about. At first I thought it sounded like a psycho. You know, he wants to peel the skin. Then the second thing that I thought of course, we're Christians, so I imagined this was some miscalculation of a demon at Jesus' cross.
Miscalculation. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Explicate.
So obviously, it says that Satan incited the crowd when Jesus was taken away, and he was standing up at the front. There was Jesus and there was Barabbas, and Barabbas was actually a lot of people think of him as a thief, but actually he was an insurrectionist, which was the Romans had taken over, and the Romans wanted to instill fear, and they didn't want you to revolt. So what they would do is they would randomly crucify people along the road to sort of keep fear in the hearts of the people, so people wouldn't try to fight against them. They would just kind of accept the Roman way of living, and Rome kind of let them do their own thing a little bit in a way, while at the same time following under Rome's rule. Well, there were people, the insurrectionists, that wanted to overthrow the Roman Empire. And so they would randomly kill soldiers and stuff like that. So they were actually, while they're a danger element because they're running around with weapons, they were still for the people in a sense, because they would take out the soldiers that were going and terrorizing their families. So you have Jesus and you have Barabbas, and Jesus had been going around healing their cities, casting out demons from the demon-possessed, freeing people. And so they were presented with these two possibilities. One is someone who brings death and one that brings life. And the people, it says that the crowd was incited, and that the devil was basically inciting them to say, we want Barabbas. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Jesus goes, they beat him, they put him on a cross, and you could imagine that if the devil is inciting this, he doesn't realize that when Jesus went to the cross, Jesus said that the last enemy to be destroyed was death. And that when Jesus went to the cross, his life wasn't taken from him, but he gave his life. So you could just imagine this sort of, it's a lesser being, obviously much lesser than God, who's this demon who believes that what he's doing is actually going to accomplish we can kill God, which you can't do. Jesus gives up his life, and then 3 days later he calls himself back up from the grave, showing he has power over death. And also the fact that he died for the sins shows that he also has power to forgive sin. So when I was reading it, it literally, you couldn't recognize him. That's how badly he was beaten. And between the beatings and the cross and everything along the way, there wasn't a lot of skin intact. So when it says a terror unleashed that you have never seen reveals the flesh beneath, to bleed you forever is my only dream as I slowly peel off your skin. So you could see this demon or devil figure wanting to peel off the skin of Jesus, thinking that he could actually stupidly kill God, but you can't. And then screaming, which I that's when it was kind of well, that didn't really work, because it says that Jesus, he didn't go to the cross screaming, that he was, well, it says silent, but I don't think it means radio silence.
Right.
But certainly it switched when it got to, I can taste your fear. Jesus was not afraid. Would you say he was afraid?
How could you say he wasn't afraid?
I don't believe that he was. Never believe. Why would you say he was afraid? I could say that he was saying, if there's another way, let it pass from me, but I wouldn't have imagined that was fear.
He began to be sorrowful and greatly distressed.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you could put distress and fear together.
Yeah. Distress would be a very extreme form of fear, I would say.
That's so sad. I never really thought of it like that.
What?
Well, Jesus being, because it says, for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. Yep. So I guess when that verse gets read, I imagine that he's looking forward. Okay, for instance, when I'm delivering a baby, there's so much pain, but you look forward to the baby at the end of it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't make the fear go away. Right? Yeah, you're not.
You're experiencing both. You're experiencing both concurrently.
Yeah.
So,
but when it got to that point, I was like, okay, well, that's a no. But yeah, I could see that. But then when it got to the end and it was talking about pleasure, pain, disease, then it sort of sounded like a end of the world type situation where there's sort of they have different situations. Well, this one would be one of those disease end of the world that peels your skin, is what I got.
That makes
That makes some sense. What if God is just a narcissist and everything he says in the Bible about himself is just to boost his self-esteem because
He's the nerd who gets bullied by all the other powerful gods.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well,
Good
one
question, Jet.
one is that Yahweh bullies the other gods, not the other way around.
And mocks them as well.
And mocks them incessantly. Like, for example, the 10 plagues in Egypt.
Yep.
Those weren't random plagues. Those were the gods of the Egyptians. They had a god of the Nile. They had the sun god, obviously, etc., etc. So,
And then the prophet, when he was basically like, okay, we're going to test your God and we're going to test your God.
Right.
And then he's like, well, perhaps your God is sitting on the toilet. And
Right.
that's why he hasn't
so
arrived to...
Yahweh has been bullying these niggas.
Yeah.
He's been signing these dudes, bro.
Yep.
So, no, that's not true.
Even when Jesus came, like what he said to the religious leaders, he was like, if I had said that, I would be a liar, like you.
Like you. Lying ass.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who he said it to. Read Gospel of John.
Yep.
Gospel of John chapter 8, man. What you got to. Yahweh getting bullied by Odin is a hilarious thought, though. Yeah, I mean, look. As I said, I believe that those gods are real, that they have ontology somewhere in a dimension somewhere. I really believe that. When we first started the channel, I never used to say demons. I would say dark intelligence.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's interesting too when you bring the cross into it because it says omen of wrath. I think that's like one of the most undertaught things in Christian theology. It's actually really interesting. So prior to Jesus dying on the cross and taking your sins, God has to punish you. But there's a sense in which if he punishes you, now he has to punish the demons because he's a just God. So God can't play favorites. You can't say, oh, you're going to forgive me and not forgive this person, or vice versa because it's outside of your nature, blah, blah, blah. And so that's how they catch God in this conundrum where God has to forgive them. See what I'm saying?
Say it again?
Because he didn't come through the way that he wanted. In other words, he's an omen of wrath.
Yeah.
Because the God can forgive us and he doesn't have to forgive them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's like, as long as we were guilty and under the sentence of death, they could kind of go, ha.
Oh, yeah.
And you see it when Jesus shows us the demon says, you're going to punish us before the time. Because they're saying, hey, there's all these people out here. And so what happens is, the devil, if I'm the devil, I feel like I've got God by the junk because it's like, hey, you're too just to just punish us and not punish them. And then God's like, well, watch, hold my beer. I'm going to become one of them, live a perfect life, take their punishment. So now I am able to judge you. So there is a sense in which the resurrection became the omen of wrath to them.
Yeah.
Because it solidified God can now justly condemn you while at the same time saving the humans.
And it puts us in a different position where it says we will judge angels.
Right. I don't think, Jet, that you're I don't think that you're saying anything crazy. I think these are good questions. But that's what God is telling you, and I meant gods that we don't even know about. And our God is only the God of this universe, and this is just a ghetto of all other universes. That's such a really interesting thought. I definitely see what you're saying. The God of the Bible makes it really easy because he claims to be the Lord over everything, over all things. And without him, nothing was made that has been made. So it doesn't matter what dimension you're in. Yeah. Yahweh rules supreme.
Yep.
In the theology. Okay. So what do you got for this one?
So yeah, I mean, I think ultimately at the end, like it was a cool thought to go through with, because at first, like, I was horrified because it sounded like, I was like, oh no, this is one of those stalkers and they're peeling people's skin, you know what I mean? Like some true crime situation, Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. And then as it progressed, like I said, I kind of like switched it where I was like, wow, this would really fit with like some, stupid demon thinking that he was going to actually win up over Jesus, which would never happen. But then in the end, I picked that it was actually like a sort of, when they, what do they call those? You have like the bomb that like sets off some disease in an area. Basically like what they said COVID was at one point.
Chemical warfare? Biochemical warfare.
Biochemical warfare. Yeah. That's what it kind of reminded me of. I will always hear your screams, pleasure, pain, disease. So I took it as your skin is peeling off because the disease that's been dropped there, the biochemist, what'd you call it? Bio what? Like the bombs that are like some diseases dropped.
Some biological
biological
weapons.
warfare.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what I got from it. I liked this one, the 2000, the after one's better than the before. And we're talking about thrash. This one was heavier. There was, for some reason, I could hear the different layering in the music a little bit better than the other one. And I don't know, I just vibed with this one better. This one's a 9.2 for me.
Hunter, you're wrong. Roman Catholics do not think that God would be just if there was no cross. Anselm's satisfaction view is not in a different universe than penal substitution. Penal substitution is the entire Mosaic economy, especially in the book of Leviticus. So that's not a Protestant doctrine. That's just the Bible. And no knowledgeable Roman Catholic is going to deny that God has a system by which he forgives sins, and the cross is at the fulcrum. I really liked it, but I'll tell you the big thing about this song that was really unique is they stacked up all those riffs at the beginning.
Yeah.
And those riffs were heavy as hell. And this is why I described the riff as like extremely confrontational.
Yep.
Like that opening set of riffage was like extremely confrontational. It was a confrontational opening.
Yeah.
And like you knew from the beginning, like, yo, it's about to get real. So I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the song. Probably went maybe 11 seconds a little bit too long. A little bit of like copy paste almost with the riff. A little bit, but nothing significant enough to where it would hurt the. What do you got?
I give it a 9.2.
Kellandros, what did you give it?
Jet, our own children have told us that our religion was BS at different points. Nothing offends us. We weren't offended with our kids. You know, they came around, they came out of it. But yeah, like nothing offends us when people ask questions and stuff. Seriously.
Well, that makes me happy when people ask.
Yeah. It's interesting
at least folks
too.
are thinking. She's like, wait a second. What kind of dude keeps telling everybody to worship him? 9.2. Dumbness.
You gave it a 9.2 as
well? No. Kel did because he's not a Christian. I'm gonna give this one a 9.6. I actually liked it. I would have given it a higher score. The riffage at the beginning was a pinch too long, guys. Pinch. By the way, there was a band that we reviewed a couple days ago, and they put a comment on the thing. I forgot to tell you.
Oh, really? That's cool.
All right, guys, we're going to do a commercial break. We'll see you on the other side of the break. I gave it a 9.6. She gave it a 9.2. And Kellandros, as we know, gave it a 9.2 because he's not a real Christian. Okay.
You know, there should be like whoever, if a band comments on the song that we reacted to, if the band themselves comments, then, I mean, as long as it's one of the bigger bands, then maybe the person gets a point.
I'm with that. That makes sense.
Yeah. So if you see a band commented on your stream you paid for or your song you paid for, send us a picture of it. All right, you guys. Emperor is up next, but we're gonna hit a commercial first. Hit that commercial. Hit that like button.
Yeah, Hunter. What you want to do is get materials from Roman Catholics themselves, right? Like credentialed Roman Catholics.
Yep.
This was not the first one to introduce that view. The doctrine of penal substitution. The doctrine of penal substitution was all through the intertestamental period prior to even the penning of the New Testament. So, like I'm glad you're on the search now. Step it up a little bit and get some quotables, right? That's where you're gonna make all your money. Okay, I will banish Vin's scorecard. You will do no such thing, sir. What I will do is banish you from not seeing a commercial, Dwayne.